Hello everyone and welcome to our video. In today's video, we're talking about the innovation ecosystem Ideation Canvas. This canvas was designed to help innovators create an ecosystem or build an ecosystem around the challenge that they are trying to solve with their innovation. Innovation ecosystem is a network through which a set of diverse actors interact to enable constant innovation outcomes in a given region or domain. As we all know, that for an ecosystem to be most effective, it requires different stakeholders to come together in positive synergies so they can become more productive as a whole community. This canvas here, it actually helps us understand and ideate on overall development of such an ecosystem. It concentrates around these 5 major sections on which the ecosystem can be built, and it can help the different actors and factors come together so there is synergy between all of them, and we also are able to create a narrative that resonates with everyone and it is beneficial for the challenge that we are trying to solve. Now, this is how the canvas looks like, and it has a circle, and towards the center is a question. This is where we will begin. Now, it's always important to understand that if we have more than one person coming from a startup or an organization who is trying to solve for a challenge, it's always interesting because they can then brainstorm with each other and come up with a very fruitful discussion. So we will begin with the one at the center by answering the question, which is, what is the purpose of this ecosystem? This is quite a foundational question because it really helps the innovators define the value that they are giving out to people who are working with them and who will be directly affected and influenced by this ecosystem creation. It also, when you're answering a question here, you would also want to think about the narrative, the story that you would like to create and tell to people about the ecosystem that you're building. This question here serves as a guiding star for the sections that follow next. So make sure that you spend some time understanding what can come together so you can build this good picture about the ecosystem that you're building. After you're done with this question, you then move to the question down below in the left, which is the factors affecting the challenge. Now, we all know that ecosystem is built as a response to a complex wicked challenge. Now, now we need to understand the different challenges that are coming together to form this main challenge that you are building your ecosystem for. We need to understand also the different root causes and factors influencing and affecting the challenge and how it surfaces to a visible way, and what challenges are relevant and meaningful for the people involved, and how does it actually affect the people who are benefiting from this ecosystem. So you need to put your thoughts around these key features and then move to the next section, which is here. That is the actors that need to come together to work for this ecosystem to be most effective. Now that we have defined the challenge landscape, we would also understand who needs to come together for this ecosystem. Actors are not just people, but also institutions. Like it could be these informal networks that you're part of, the organizations that you're working, the non-profits and the profit organizations, and also the people who are involved. In this section, you don't just list the actors, but you also try and spend some time understanding what roles they might play within the system and how they would contribute to the system. In this section, it's also important to understand what would motivate somebody, an actor, to come and contribute to this ecosystem and what value you're providing as an ecosystem to the actor so they would like to be part of it. What resonates with them and what really helps them add the value to the ecosystem. After you're done with this section here, you then move to the activity tracks. It's quite important now that you have to find the actors. You would also want to understand the different activities that they are involved in. So what are the activity tracks? These are the general set of activity types like learning, building capacity, or collaborating that the members of the ecosystems will engage in. And these sometimes these activities can also be grouped as themes or tracks. So it's quite important to list out all the activities that would help the ecosystem in its working, and it will really keep a lot of these actors involved and make them more productive. Now that we have defined the purpose, the challenge landscape, the actors and the activity tracks, we definitely need some infrastructure to make this ecosystem well working in its place. So we need a supporting platform. It is a technology, it can be a technology platform that you would organize for communication. Along with this, in this section, you also define the value model and the way in which the ecosystems will be developed, and the way in which you will assess the growth and learning that is happening within the ecosystem. So, to help us understand this canvas better, I have come up with an example that will help us apply what we have learned under each of these sections. Now, our example for today is improving mental well-being among young members in urban areas. These are a few stickies that I put after I brainstormed with myself, and this is how it looks like. So we start with this question at the center, which is, what is the purpose of this ecosystem? I'm trying to build a collaborative network to support people's mental well-being through inclusive services and also provide more holistic and preventative approach. Then I will move to this question here, which is, what are the factors affecting the challenges? I think social isolation and loneliness, academic and economic pressures, stigma around mental health, social media overload, lack of culturally relevant services are some of the factors affecting this challenge. Then I move to defining who are the actors and what brings them together. So young people themselves, of course, are the main stakeholders for this ecosystem. There's also school counselors and teachers, there are mental health professionals, community artists and youth workers, local governments and city planners, parents and caregivers. And let's also understand the different activity tracks that they would be involved in. Youth-led design labs for mental health initiatives, workshops on destigmatizing mental health, trauma-informed education, art-based mental health projects, storytelling campaigns, creating mental health youth health center for local governments, and peer mentoring circles or pop-up safe spaces. These are some of the possible activity tracks for the given challenge that we're trying to solve with the identified actors. Now, what could be a potential supporting platform? It can be an organizing space like an online platform or in-person youth cafes. We definitely need communications channels. There should be shared mental health resource library co-created by youth, qualitative feedback from participants. Value model for this challenge is that it will provide visibility for youth voices. It will give shared ownership of the programs that we are designing for them, and also support creative leadership. So there are visibly reduced destructive thoughts, and it can help youngsters evolve out of the depression and the mental health inefficiencies that they are facing. So this is how the canvas comes together, and this is how the ecosystem is formed. I hope you got an understanding of the main objective of this canvas and how you build an ecosystem. Thank you so much for watching this video.